So in this episode, we're going to talk about Joker 2. So a quick synopsis is struggling with his dual identity, failed comedian Arthur Fleck meets the love of his life, Harley Quinn, while incarcerated at Arkham State Hospital. What'd you think?
So I have a confession to make.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't watch the first one.
You did not tell me that before we watched this one.
So I'm watching it and going,
we could have watched the first one. Oh.
What's happening? I don't know what's happening. I kind of guessed based on where, like, they were filling it in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
However, I was very hard to, and I noticed you as well had a hard time watching the film because it just kept breaking out in song.
Yeah, I mean, I understood like the story of the characters.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy the musical numbers.
They were very here's the thing. It worked, but then it also didn't work. Like there's a fine line of how it worked. It was trying to, the idea is it was all in their head.
Yeah, so I understand, yeah.
Because you could, at one point, you can even tell, like, oh, he wasn't even moving, but he did a whole dance number, and then he was back into the same spot.
That one I liked when he was in the jail there or whatever, and they were watching.
Like that TV room, yeah. The rec room, is that what they call it? Yeah.
That one was okay.
Yeah.
If they just had that one.
Yeah.
And then I guess the one where they were talking while they were sitting there in prison talking to each other.
A conversation could not continue without them breaking out in song.
Yeah, I mean,
there was I just want one part of dialect where they didn't sing.
Yeah, I mean, like I get why like what the music was. It was their own kind of delusions in their head, their own imagine. But they could have done it a different way.
Certain spot, like I would have cut it down to like maybe half of the songs could have been cut completely.
Yeah, like the whole like musical productions when it was like a stage and song, that was not needed.
No.
Well, when they were like just them two singing to each other, whatever, that's fine.
I also another note I found, I couldn't get over. I'm a huge crime buff. I watch all the crime docs, and the entire time during that courtroom, all I could think of was the notorious Ted Bundy crime courtroom, and how it was just a huge kerfuffle of just he fired his person.
Really?
No, I was waiting. Yeah, fired his person. What's the word? He was his own lawyer.
Yeah.
He would do his own. When the witnesses were on the stand, he had to confront them, and it was just a whole bunch of, and he didn't understand any law, anything had to do with it. It was just a huge kerfuffle. I was waiting for there's one part that in Ted Bundy, when he was in court, he actually asked his then partner to marry him in front of the judge, and it actually made it legal because it was in front of the judge.
Really?
Yeah. I was waiting for them to like spoof that, have like Harley Quinn go up in the sand and ask Mary and blah 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 whatever. Waiting the entire time, and it didn't happen. So I was like kind of grateful because I was like, oh, at least they don't do. But the entire time I'm like, this is literally almost like a spoof.
I mean, all I think is they could have done better.
There definitely should have been more of a structural plot.
I mean, they could have chosen a different type of story. I mean, okay, he had to be in jail and everything, but they didn't have to do it the way they did, I think. And I did not need all the musicals.
Yeah.
They could have done something else. They could have done like their own dreams, their own delusions, but not musical.
Now, this is something I had to ask him after because, again, I didn't watch the first film, but how they made the first film compared to this one?
First one was much better.
Yeah.
First one was much better.
You did mention that there was like all the action happened at the end of the film.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you can kind of see him spiral in the first one, and then it just kind of all happens. Like the main part is at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they shed a bit of that in.
Yeah,
in
basically they report like his crimes.
Yeah.
That's But the first one's much better, and if they would have just done like they did in the first one,
it
would have been just much better.
They definitely did a little dirty in. I don't know if it was because they got Lady Gaga. Or
I mean, here's the thing: like Lady Gaga was great in this one.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
Even her singing was nice.
perfect.
I just didn't want the singing.
No, we
Joaquin
wanted
Phoenix,
more acting.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, of course, is a brilliant actor. He did fantastic in this one. I just didn't need the singing.
Just cut it down.
It kind of like I understand why they did it, but it kind of took me out of the story a little bit. And
at one point, I did look over at him, and he was moving his head back, like, you know, you do like again.
Yeah. But yeah, it almost like if you would have taken all the musical numbers out of this movie, I would have still understood the movie.
Yeah.
Which tells me, is what I think, which tells me I didn't need to see the musical numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But I mean, like, it didn't do very well on, like, for example, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 32%. And IMDb has it at 5.3 out of 10.
So the critics and the fans are not really having it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, like,
on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 32%, and then 31%, and then IMDb is 5.3.
It's kind of odd. Like, it's an even amount of people that have read the comics and have just watched the films.
Well, I mean,
so
this is different. This is like different from all the other Joker stories.
So it's not like
universe.
This is a huge like they
instead
wrote
of
this from
instead of
scratch.
like Joker, it's Arthur Fleck.
Yeah. Would you have watched it if, say, because how long was this movie? Realistically, I can't remember.
How long?
It's like what? It's about 2 hours.
It's 138 minutes runtime.
Oh, it's 2 hours and over 2 hours.
A little over, yeah.
So realistically, with all the musicals, it would have been like about an hour long.
I don't.
I'm
know,
serious, like
yeah.
legit. It sounded like the musical literally was like half the film was musical. So
they could have filled in with other stuff. They didn't, you know.
They definitely would have ended up with a bigger plot. Now, could you imagine if they had a plot and they cut it down
for the music?
To fit the music,
that would have been bad.
How messed up would that have been?
But see, I saw an interview with Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
they're on the red carpet, and she said she did the movie because she likes the character Arthur Fleck, and that's understandable. I just don't think that's why she did it.
No.
I think because it was a musical. They need someone that can act, and she has acting credits. She knows how to act. And they need someone that can sing. And
what was what you said to me yesterday? You're like, they should have gotten, what's his name?
Bradley
Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
the last one they were in, yeah.
That was done.
But at least that movie, the music made sense.
Oh no, that was beautiful.
You know,
I cried for that movie. Yeah. I would not watch this movie, by the way. I know you're asking me that question eventually.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't watch it either. So
I wouldn't mind watching the first movie.
No, yeah, you have to watch the first movie.
I feel bad. I started watching it and it's like, what's with the cartoons?
Yeah. That was a little bit, but it was, I don't know, that was the least of the problems. But the one thing I can say, and spoiler alert, is that doesn't look like there's going to be a third one.
Oh, really?
Well, you've seen the movie.
Oh, well, yeah.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a third one. But if there's no third one, then I hate it, the idea even more, because I hate that that's what they ended with. That's the movie we got.
They're going to eventually make another.
They have to eventually.
They're just not going to use that plot line. No, they're not going to use that whole storyline.
Was it in his head again that happened? I don't know, but
great show, great episode. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for letting me sit with you.
All right. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think of this movie in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe.